Welcome back. All right, so hockey videos all done, minus the review I'll do for a hockey game later. But at any rate, I wanted to talk about some of what I've been watching this past couple of weeks. I didn't do a video specifically on the Rogue episode of Doctor Who. Those videos just the views are so low, like between 350 and 400. So I'll mention here that I really enjoyed the episode. I really think Doctor Who has had a very good season. I know that there have been a lot of negative reviews given to Doctor Who so far this year, but again, as I've mentioned, it just feels like negativity is what sells on the internet these days. And it's too bad because when I'm looking at the algorithm on YouTube and I'm looking at some of the videos that it's recommending to me, now because I've watched Alex Myers and a couple of the other channels that do kind of jokingly review movies and TV shows that aren't necessarily fantastic, now it's recommending some kind of mean spirited videos where I'm like, well, wait, and let's just like, this show sucks and this is terrible and this is awful and don't watch it. And I'm like, but that's not really, just because I watch Alex Myers doesn't mean I want that. That's not the same thing. Myers is tongue in cheek and it's really funny stuff. It's not mean spirited at all. But that's just me. Anyways, I enjoyed Rogue. I thought it was a well done episode. Shooty Gatwa did a very good job in this episode, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the season finale and seeing where everything's built to. It should be a fascinating finale once we get there. I wanted to talk a bit about Perfect Match. Perfect Match is a Netflix show where they take Netflix celebrities and put them on another Netflix show. And so they're all from various Netflix. And Nick Lachey's the host because, sure, why not? I'm not a huge fan of Nick Lachey as host of these things. And he seems to be the host of multiple shows right now. So it's kind of like, yeah, because The Ultimatum, Perfect Match, and Love is Blind. So any of those, yeah, they're all Nick Lachey shows. But Perfect Match is honestly kind of funny. And I'm up to, I've finished 4 episodes. I think there are 6 that are publicly available now. I watched this one with Yvonne. And it's a dating show. But at the end of the night, you have, say, 7 guys, 5 ladies. Well, you can only pair off 5 guys. And then 2 of the guys will leave. But it's an interesting show. It's a funny show. Sometimes people aren't intentionally funny, but they'll say things that you're like, wait, did they just say that? And there were numerous instances of that, especially in the first couple of episodes. There's always a case where somebody will choose to pair off with someone else where I think that's a mistake. And there's a recency bias with these dating shows. I always find it really interesting how you'll have 5 guys and 5 ladies, and they will all pair off. And then you bring in a couple of new people, you send people off on dates. And the new people, depending on the show, sometimes they get treated like, well, you're new, so good luck, which seems to be the case on Love Island. The new ones just almost never stick around for very long. But on this one, it feels like these people are like, oh, I really like this person. The new one is great, so I'm just going to throw away the other one. And it's so weird. And the weirdest thing to me is Dom, who won it last year with Georgia. I don't think he's winning this year. He's just his behavior on the show is bizarre. I'm starting to wonder what they haven't shown us. There has to be something they haven't shown us because his attitude towards the young lady he's paired up with completely changes like that. And of course, that's really a red flag if a guy goes from, hey, no, I'm pulling your chair up for you and being all nice and sweet. No, yeah, no, you're the greatest. And then 5 minutes later, he's like, yeah, whatever. You still talking? And he has that whole body language. And it's like, oh, man, that's so brutal. Because she's still like all gung-ho and she's so happy until she realizes he has no interest left in her whatsoever. And it's been minutes. And yeah. So it is interesting to see how that works, and to see that there's definitely a bias with some of these guys that, oh, new girl, so I like the new girl more, and sometimes the ladies will do that too. Oh, I like the new guy's better. It is so weird. But anyways, the grass is always greener, right? And definitely on this show, you can see that does tend to be the case with some, not with all, but with some. And the young lady I was really rooting for, she's out already. So I don't understand. Um, and again, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's watching, but Xanthi was like my favorite on there, which is weird because when she was on the Circle, I found her mostly irritating. But on this, I was like, you know what? She actually is pretty smart. She's funny. She seems to understand what's going on. She's not taking this too seriously, and she was one of the ladies that seemed to be holding off her partner physically and saying, no, we're the physical part of the relationship we're going to hold off on. Those young ladies seem to have a harder time with getting guys to not look elsewhere. So again, it kind of proves their point, doesn't it? So it's fascinating. I've been watching the first season of Traitors Canada with Yvonne. The second season, I'm really anxious and excited about. I do not have anything Traitors-ish to watch. The French Canadian one, I did the one episode and I was like, I can't, because there's no English translation. So what I'm hoping is that'll just let episodes pile up, and the next time I jump into the French Canadian version of Traitors, there'll be an option to have subtitles in English, and then I'm there. I'm not asking them to dub it, just for subtitles in English. My French is okay, but it's not good enough for me to really and truly get completely into the series, because I'm kind of like, okay, they said wait, and then the one tricky part when you're not fluent in a language is the speed at which someone talks. So I know from hanging around with a family that spoke Spanish as their primary language, when they spoke slowly, I could understand the whole conversation. I knew what they were saying. I knew what was going on. When they got upset and they would start speeding up, no clue, nothing, none. And then they figured out this guy can't figure out what we're saying if we talk fast, so let's talk fast. So then that just threw the whole thing out. I am. Oh, I also want to say with Traitors Canada, I still think it's my favorite of the Traitors. Yeah, and Corrine is still my favorite of the hosts. I think she has a good balance of that larger than life way that she announces it, but she brings that humanity to it as well. So I think it's just really well balanced, and there are some good hosts for the show. The UK, the American version, the Canadian version, the Australian version. I don't think any of them have got the host wrong necessarily. Although of course Australia they canceled it, so whoops. But anyways, yeah. So Traitors Canada is done. Again, for me, watching it the second time, it was interesting again, and to see Yvonne having the same reaction to the finale that I did. Just, oh no, and I was like, yep, that's the reaction I had too. Great. I didn't spoil any of it. I didn't spoil any of it the whole way through, at all. So I don't. I generally don't. If I'm watching a show or a movie with somebody and I've watched it and they haven't, I don't even react. And I don't nudge them like, hey, you're not going to believe this. I just sit there and wait. And I've had people say, well, what happens next? And my answer is always the same. I don't remember. I wasn't watching. And after about the third time I say it, they realize he's not going to give me an answer. I don't want to spoil it for people. If I enjoy something, I want to watch it again. I don't want to spoil it for somebody else. I like that seeing that moment of realization, or sometimes if it's a horror movie, them jumping out of their seats. I do intend to go and see Inside Out too. I'm on the fence. We'll see how much hockey's in it. If there's a lot of hockey, I think I could probably review it on the Hockey Channel. If there isn't a ton of hockey, I'll review it here. My guess is there won't be a ton of hockey, so I'll review it on here. Shoresy's third season is over halfway done. I didn't. I honestly, after the third episode, was like, I don't know. This season just kind of seems to be running on fumes. And then that fourth episode, man, wow. Yeah, that fourth episode just really, and it's funny because it just seems like another episode that doesn't feel like filler, but it doesn't feel like it's advanced things a lot. And then that advancement hits, and it's great. I really do enjoy Shorzy. So the Disneyland trip is booked for August. We've got our plane tickets bought, paid for. We've paid for the hotel as well. Now we're getting into the park tickets and getting all that figured out. So yeah, we're almost all set. The plan is that we're going to do walkthrough videos. We've been watching some of the Disney channels on YouTube, and in some cases they'll do a little spiel, and we're like, well, wait, you missed something back there. So we're taking note of things that, especially with videos where they're like, if you haven't been to Disney before, do this. And there was a video that Yvonne watched where somebody made it with how to do Disney without doing rides. So if you don't want to do rides, how does a day at Disney work? and he missed a bunch of stuff. And again, maybe to him it's not stuff that he would do, but there's stuff that Yvonne and I do. So she was like, what would you do if you weren't doing rides in Disney? And I named stuff. She's like, see, and I said that too, and it's not in the video. So we're gonna do some walkthrough videos. I'm not gonna worry so much. I haven't done the Disneyland videos as much because I always worry about the audio of the music in the background. I'm not gonna worry about that. We do film the parade. We watched we watched someone else's video with the parade last night. The same parade we watched, and so that's always a sign that you do want to go back. And so we're gonna go back. I'll probably film the parade again. It'll be different, obviously, this summer than last summer. We do have one rest day in the middle, so we'd like to have a rest day in the middle. We're gonna do 3 days in the parks. Yes, multiple parks between California Adventure and Disney. And we're going to have that one rest day and then a couple more days in the parks after that. And then we go home. So during that rest day, we'll be doing something with the Anaheim Ducks in all likelihood. I've already reached out to them. They've answered me and said, cool, we'll be around at that point in time. I know there's some fun stuff going on around Honda Center, which is the Ducks arena. So this is one of the nice things about going down to Disney is that I can do content for this channel and do content for the main channel as well. With Vegas, obviously I could as well, but the Vegas Golden Knights, the first time that I went to Las Vegas, the Vegas Golden Knights wanted to meet with me and talk to me, and it didn't end up happening. And I haven't heard anything from them since. And so yeah, the Ducks, there's a good relationship there. And it's fun to go down to Disneyland. We are definitely Disney adults, as my Disney shirt would say. And usually when I go out in public, I'm wearing a Disneyland shirt. So I do find that I wear these. And I find it funny that these are called jerseys because I now have 6 of them. That's the one thing is, as many of these jerseys as I have, I don't need that from Disney. I think my favorite is the pizza one, although this one's nice as well. I like the colors. But yeah, so that's the plan. We're going to go to Disneyland. We're going to have that rest day in the middle. And we're probably going to have some kind of a meetup. Now, since it's August, it's not going to be street hockey in California because no, I think that would be not advisable. Plus, I want to make sure that I'm able to have the rest of my vacation at Disneyland unimpeded by, say, heat stroke the day before or getting hurt the day before, that kind of thing. But we'll see. And when we decide on where a meetup's going to take place and when, that'll get posted to the Facebook page for the Hockey Guy. And then we'll probably post that link on the Hockey channel, and I can post it here as well. I wanted to talk a little bit about the WNBA. So Caitlin Clark, of course, is this rookie extraordinaire with the WNBA. But there's some clashes going on now between people who've covered the WNBA for a long time and people who are just starting to because Caitlin Clark is there, so it's drawing a lot of interest. The WNBA, it feels like, has reached its highest point in terms of coverage, but it's been frustrating for those who've covered it for a long time, and I get it. I absolutely get it. From a sports fan's perspective, it can be really frustrating when you're paying attention to something all the way through, and then somebody jumps in the playoffs like, oh man, the playoffs are going to be great. It's like, wait, no. I watched the whole regular season. It's just, hey, what do you think this guy's going to do for us this year? He was traded last summer. You don't pay attention. And then I can't imagine from those who've been covering the WNBA for years as media, having mainstream media coming in now and trying to tell you what's wrong with the league, what's wrong with the players, and this person's a jerk and this person's a jerk, and like it has to be really, really frustrating because people haven't paid attention. They just haven't. So for the WNBA, right now they're going through this period of growth, and they're also going through this real tribulation with it too. I'll be interested to see how it goes, but all the best to them because that organization, we have heard for many, many years about how that league doesn't make money. Nobody's going to watch it. Nobody cares. Well, now the ratings are really high and people are paying attention and all the infighting is going on at this point. So, we'll see what happens there. But I wanted to mention it here because it does feel like women's sports. Obviously, with hockey right now, there's the PWHL. It feels like women's sports are starting to gain a foothold. I think with the WNBA, it's similar to the PWHL with women's hockey. You have a different audience. You have a different audience. Is it going to be a smaller audience? Yeah, probably. But as long as it's a dedicated audience and as long as the league can make ends meet, and that's been a debate that's gone on for years as well, but as long as they can, I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. Now, for those who are waiting for me to talk more about wrestling, I have wanted to put together a wrestling video. I have not seen anything from either company for the last few weeks that has told me I need to do a video on either company. But Clash at the Castle is on Saturday. It's 11 a.m. my time. Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals on Saturday, but it's not an early game, so I would have time to watch Clash of the Castle. I may do a review on that. And for anybody who wants to say, well, why don't you review the AEW pay-per-views as well? AEW pay-per-views, I think they're $50-$60. I would not make that back making a video about AEW, so it makes no sense. I would be paying to do a review of an AEW event, and WWE, that's included with my package on cable. So it doesn't cost me anything extra to review and watch Clash at the Castle, which is part of the reason why WWE will get a little bit more coverage from me than AEW. I don't have access to all the AEW programming at this point in time, and I'm not paying extra money to watch AEW programming either. I feel like with all of the online streaming, and I mean, we have Netflix, we have Disney, we have Amazon Prime. I feel like I'm good. I'm good in terms of all the stuff that I'm paying to watch already. And yeah, and wrestling gets to be kind of an all week thing. There's a wrestling show almost every single night. So there's only a certain amount of time for me. But I will probably watch and review Clash at the Castle. There are some interesting matches there. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. And again, this is kind of an all over video. But these things can happen on the Entertainment Guy channel because that name just sounds better than like Shannon's Crap Shack. You know, the landing place of any video that's not for hockey. And I felt kind of seen a little bit to Emma Blackery doing a video about a month ago. I just watched it this week, talking about how, yeah, YouTubers used to have second channels and used to have alternate channels for things that weren't related to their main channel's content, and they were worried that the algorithm, yada yada. Yeah, and so I'm still doing the alternate channel. Because if I did a video like this on the hockey channel, people wouldn't be happy. In my experience, people just are not happy with when I deviate from the hockey conversation on the hockey channel. So this channel exists, and it's going to stay. One difference between a lot of the YouTubers that do the alternate channels, very often they'll go to other channels. I don't understand how, because then like you've got to build up your numbers before you can get monetized again. And you got to go through the whole rigmarole all over again. It's not worth it to me. So just one secondary channel, everything goes there. If it makes money, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. But it's a chance for me to talk about anything that's not hockey. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. And I'm looking forward to doing walkthrough videos and some fun stuff at Disney when we go down there in August. So I will talk to you again soon.